Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Dear students, I, Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor from School of Computer Science, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all from the Chaitanya studio of Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In the lecture series of Python programming, we have discussed various data structure in last few sessions. In recent session, we have discussed the data structure that is list and tuple. Suppose you want to create a list, you are using the square bracket. If you want to create tuple, you are using parenthesis. So how the list and tuple will be created, how data will be inserted, which kind of data that can be stored inside these data structures, which are the different operations, which are the inbuilt methods to access some of the elements from these data structures. All these things that we have discussed in previous session with the help of demonstration. Now Python supports multiple data structures that you already aware. Now in today's session, we are going to discuss one more data structure that can be supported by Python, that is dictionaries. Now in today's session, the learning objectives are, after completion of this session, student will able to understand what are dictionaries and how they differ from other data structures. So mainly we are focusing on the data structure that is dictionary. Then after we can understand how to create dictionary, how to access elements from the dictionary. Then different use cases as well as the applications we are going to discuss in today's session. And then after we will see some of the built-in methods that can be used in the dictionaries. So as you already aware, Python supports multiple data structures. So we are using tuple, we are using list. So you can say that they are, whatever the data you are storing, that follows some sequence, or whatever the items that are available, that is in the sequential order. That means suppose you want to access some of the elements from those data structure, you are requiring the concept of index. As we have already discussed, that index starts with the 0 and ends till whatever the number of elements that you are going to insert in that particular data structure, right? We have also discussed whatever the value that you are entering, that may be repeated and only single values are there. There is no mapping on those data structure. Now suppose you are requiring to map some of the data. Now suppose you are requiring the application like you want to store roll number as well as the name. Suppose you want to store subject and the marks or the pairwise data, or you can say that you are requiring that loopback data or some configuration data, some metadata. In that case, you are requiring to store those data in pair. So if you want to store the data in pair, you are requiring the data structure called dictionaries. Now in dictionaries, basically two values are there. You can say that one is key and another is value. So the keys are unique and the values that can be changed. So we will see how to create dictionary and which are the different operations that can be performed on those dictionary. So as you already aware, there is some syntax to create the data structure. In the list, we are using square bracket. For tuple, we are using parenthesis. Now for dictionary, you have to use curly bracket. So dictionary is nothing but the key value pair. That means you have to enter two items or two things. One is key, another is value associated with that particular key. Now key is unique throughout the dictionary, but the value that can be repeated. We will also see the difference between different data structures like list and the dictionary later on. But the basic difference you can get idea, that is whenever you are creating the list, whatever the index that is in the integer format, like suppose you want to access some of the value from the list, you can access with the help of index value that starts with 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, right? But here in the dictionary, suppose you want to access some of the value, then you have to access with the help of key, and that key, it is in descriptive form, right? it may be in text format. Now mind well that keys are unique, but the value that can be repeated, right? Now this is the basic syntax for creating the dictionary. You have to write the dictionary name, that is the valid identifier. You must have to follow whatever the rules and regulation to create variable name, to create identifier name, same that is here the dictionary name, it is nothing but one identifier. Then after you can use equal to sign, that is assignment operator. On the right hand side you can start or create dictionary with the help of curly bracket. In curly bracket, starting and ending curly bracket, in between you have to use two things, one is key and one is value. So key and value that are separated by colon sign, and multiple key value pair that are separated by the comma. You can observe in the screen key 1, then after colon value 1, that means value 1 is associated with this key 1, then after comma sign key 2 colon value 2, this value 2 that is associated with key 2, right? That is the application of dictionary. Suppose you want to store roll number as well as the name as well as the marks or whatever the data in some pair format or in mapping format, in that case you are using this dictionary. Here one example, one demonstration is given how to create dictionary. So dict1, that is your identifier name, then after equal to sign, then after curly bracket, whatever the value you want to include you can write. Here key as well as the value you can put in the single quotation or the double quotation. Suppose your value is in the integer format, then it is not required to write in the single quote or double quote. You can also skip that thing here for those integer values. Then after, suppose you want to print the dictionary, simply you have to use the print function, and then after you can write whatever the variable name that you are using to create dictionary. Here in our case dict, that is our variable name for storing the dictionary values. So whenever you are using this print statement, all the values are printed in the form of keys and values. You can observe in the output, right? Second thing, suppose you don't want to use a line break. In that case, in a single line you can use the same thing, starting curly bracket, ending curly bracket, and in between you can use multiple keys as well as the value. The only thing you have to remember, each and every value that are associated with some specific keys, and those keys are unique throughout the dictionary, but the values that may be repeated, right? That you have to understand. Then after, next thing, which are the different applications. So as we have discussed, suppose you are requiring some kind of relationship, that is mapping relationship, student roll number with the name, say for example roll number 1 and associated student name that you have to store. In that case you can write the dictionary. Then after storing some configuration data in the system, you have to store some of the data with configuration properties, right? Say for example metadata, that is field name and its value. Such kind of application requires that dictionary, right? Then after representing structured data, you can use JSON objects. So these are the different use cases or applications in which you can use the dictionary. Now how to access the dictionary values? In the case of tuple or in the case of list, you can access the value with the help of index. Same way here, if you want to access the value from the dictionary, you can use the key, right? So whatever the key you are using, the same thing that you have to use here. You can observe here in the demonstration. First of all, we have created one dictionary with 3 keys. Keys are roll number, name and course. According to those keys, there is one single associated value are there. Then after you can print those value with the help of whatever your dictionary name, in our case dict, and then after, mind well, here we have to use that square bracket. Instead of index value, you have to put here the key. So whatever the key, here you are in the case roll number, then after name, and then after the course. So one by one, whatever the values associated with those keys that are displayed here. This way you can access the value from the dictionary. Now adding a pair in a dictionary. Now suppose you want to add some of the elements in the dictionary. So same way, in the list or tuple, you are using index. Say for example at the 3rd position in the list you want to insert something. In that case you can write whatever the list variable name, then after in square bracket you can write the position of index, that is 3, and then after you are passing the value. Same way here in the dictionary, suppose you want to add some element, in that case you have to pass key as well as the value. So here dictionary variable, that is new key. So key value you have to put here, and on right hand side you have to pass the value associated with that particular key. You can more clear with this help of example. See, one dictionary that we have already created, roll number, name and course, that are the keys. We have printed all those value. Now suppose you want to add some more key as well as the value, say for example semester, and associated value you want to store. So in our case semester is the key and the third semester that we are passing. So this way you can pass, or you can add one more element, or you can say that you can add one more pair of key and value in the dictionary structure, right? Or you can say you can print here dictionary semester, so this value will be printed here. Now suppose you want to modify some associated value. So remember one thing, once the dictionary is created, any key value that cannot be changed, right, that is immutable, mind well, but you can change the value associated with that particular key, right. So here one example is given in dictionary already created, then after print statement is there, you are printing multiple keys value. Now suppose you want to change some particular value for associated key, say for example course, before it is MSCIT, now you would like to change, that is BSCIT or any other value. In that case simply you can pass the key in the form of that dictionary, and then after square bracket whatever the key, on the right hand side you can change the value. So this way you can update the value for any key. Mind well, again keys cannot be changed, the associated value that can be changed, right. Then after deleting items in the dictionary, now suppose you want to delete some of the items in the dictionary. So you can use multiple ways to delete the items from the dictionary. One of the ways, that is you can use del command, that is delete command. So you can write delete, then after whatever your dictionary name, and then after which key and associated value you want to remove or delete, that you have to pass. You can observe on the screen, delete, then after dictionary name, that is our valid identifier name, and then after you can pass the key. So whatever the value associated with that key, that can be deleted from that particular dictionary. You can get more idea from this demonstration. Here one dictionary is created, you can print dictionary with the help of print statement. Now suppose you are using delete command, so delete, then after dict name, here in our dictionary that is dict, and then after the course, right. So the course, that is deleted. So after deleting course, suppose you are trying to fetch the value of that particular key course, in that case compiler will give you error message. So that clearly mention that after using the del command, that particular key will be deleted, and then after you cannot see the value related with that particular key. Another example you can observe here, suppose you want to delete the whole dictionary. In the previous example you can see we have just deleted a single element, but here you have deleted the whole dictionary. In that case you can write del, that is del command, and then after the dictionary name without entering any key. If you are entering the key, that means only that value associated with that particular key that will be deleted. But here suppose you want to delete the whole dictionary structure, in that case you are using that delete and then after the dictionary name. Then after you are trying to print that dictionary that you have already deleted, in that case compiler will give you error message because that is not available more, or it is not exist in the data structure. Now the next thing, another method to delete, that is pop. You already aware with the push operation, pop operation, peep operation, right, in the stack, right, in the stack data structure in any other programming languages. Now the same here, pop method that can be used to remove that particular value. So the syntax is given, dictionary name, that is valid identifier, dot pop, that is the method, inbuilt method, and then after you have to pass the key. So whatever the value associated with that key, that can be removed or deleted. That is the another alternative if you don't want to use delete command. Here you can observe in the program, that is pop operation. So once we are using dict.pop and then after the course is our key. So whenever whatever the value that can be passed to that left hand side variable, that is remove value. If you want to see what is the value that you have removed, so if you are using this statement, this way you can see which value you have removed, right. So that is another alternative to remove the value from the dictionary. Now the in operator. So these are different operations that you can able to do with the dictionary. Suppose you want to check particular member, particular key that is available in the dictionary or not. In that case you are using the in operator. So the general syntax that you can see here in the demonstration, say for example, is name a key? So you can write name in dictionary, whatever the dictionary name. If it is there, then the result will be true, that is the boolean value. And if whatever the value you are checking, whatever the key you are checking, that is available in the dictionary or not, if it is not available, then the false value that will be written by that particular in operator, right? Then after iterating through the dictionary, now suppose there are multiple values, multiple pair are available in the dictionary. Suppose you want to fetch a single value, then you can use with the help of that key number or whatever the key. Now suppose you are requiring to fetch all the key value pairs, then how it can be possible? So you can iterate with multiple, you can iterate with keys, you can iterate with values, or you can iterate with pair. There are multiple options. With the help of that you can iterate from the dictionary, right? So first is key. So how you can iterate with the help of keys? Dictionary name dot keys, keys is the inbuilt method. Second, dictionary name dot values, here you can also use with the help of value, you can iterate all the values. And second, you can merge with the help of items. So these three things you have to keep in mind if you want to access all the elements or whatever the pairs available in the dictionary one by one. Then there are three scenarios. You can access with the help of keys, you can access with the help of values, or you can access with the help of items, right? You can see in the demonstration here, first that is print key. So here for loop that can be used for key in dic dot keys. So with the help of keys you are iterating all the values. Second, with the help of values, for value in dic dot values. So here you can also iterate all the values. And the third option you can use with the help of pair, that is items. So for key comma values, here in the for loop you can use both these variables key and the value, because you are requiring the items, that is inbuilt method, to fetch or to iterate whatever the pair and the values from the dictionary, right? You can observe the output is here on the right hand side. Now dictionary method, some of the inbuilt methods that are available in your syllabus. First is length. Suppose you want to find out the size of dictionary, how many pairs are there in the dictionary, you can use length method, that is inbuilt method. Then after get, key and the default. So here key and the default, that is not the mandatory argument, two arguments are there, only one you can pass here, that is key. Suppose you want to access the value that is associated with particular key, in that case you can use this get method. Now suppose that key is not available in your dictionary, in that case what happen? You can pass some default value. So that default value you are passing here on the second argument, right? You can observe, we will see in the demonstration. Then clear, if you want to clear all the values from the dictionary, in that case you can use clear. Now remember one thing, there is a difference between delete and the clear. If you want to remove the whole dictionary data structure, in that case you are using delete command. But suppose you are requiring that dictionary structure remains as it is, but only pair or only key value pair that can be removed, in that case you can use this clear function or clear method. Then after update, suppose you want to merge, if you want to add some multiple key value pairs in the existing dictionary, in that case you can use this update method. You can see here in the example we have used get method to get that particular value against the key. If it is not there, you can pass the default value that is not found. You can find the length with the help of length method. You can update the dictionary. Here you can use key and value pair. I am passing here tree, banyan and fruit, grapes. These two key value pair I am passing. So this can be merged in the existing dictionary. So this way you can use update. You can use clear to remove whatever the data available in the dictionary, not the data structure. You can observe here in the output. Then after list versus dictionary. So this is the difference between two data structure. So list is order list, but here dictionary, that is not order, it is unorder. Suppose you want to access the list element, you can use index value. Here you can use key values for accessing the values. Elements can be repeated in the list, but here in the dictionary keys cannot be repeated. It cannot be it can be immutable, you can say that you cannot change, but the values can be repeated. And the applications of the list, it is best suitable if you want to go for order collection of items or the sequence, and for the dictionary if you are requiring to store some map kind of data, or you can say that the data lookup operations, in that case you are using the dictionary, right. Now we are concluding our session. In today's session we have discussed what is dictionary, how to create dictionary, how to access elements from the dictionary, which are the different inbuilt methods available that can be used with the dictionary. We have also discussed the difference between different data structures that are available in the Python. In the next subsequent session, we are continuing with some more advanced concept. Till then, happy learning, happy coding.
स्वाध्यायः परमः